A few days ago, Dr. Scott Barry Kaufman, I, I guess he's a friend of Sam Harris's. He's a cognitive scientist and the host of the Psychology podcast. He tweeted a few days ago, now that Sam Harris, my friend, Sam Harris is off Twitter, I'd like to respectfully announce that we actually do have free will. And there's a lot of people that commented below. They're like, yeah, of course, some other scientists and things like that didn't get too many likes as far as Twitter is concerned. Um, so Sam defines free will as the ability to have done differently than what you've done. So if you were to rewind the universe, you would have done differently. Based on what? I don't know. So it's kind of a nonsensical idea. So I'm just going to make a few points, but from at the end of this sentence, I'll no longer use the term free will. So one thing to consider is that we didn't create our own brains or our anything physical, our appearance, uh, perhaps a handicap that we or disability we were born with, or illnesses that we could be born with. And so we didn't decide the limitations of our brains because the organic composition of our brains dictates the limitations of the brain, what it can do. Otherwise, we'd all be geniuses if we were born with a limitless brain. There'd be no reason why we wouldn't be geniuses. We would quickly realize that we have no limit, and there would be no reason, there'd be no need to learn anything because you could just surmise everything on your own. You could just figure everything out on your own. You'd be able to surmise what the weather is like on the opposite side of the planet just from just from feeling the wind in your bedroom or whatever. That's how limitless we would be if we were born with limitless cognitive ability. But we are all limited, and these limitations dictate who we can interact with in our daily lives, who we can have conversations with, which in turn dictates our love lives, who we can interact with, who we can hold a conversation with, and all these things determines who will be attracted to us or who will be interested in us, which dictates our love lives, which dictates our level. Most people, anyway, it dictates their level of happiness in life. And there's some other things here. Oh, we don't think thoughts before we think them. We don't. So you can't think a thought before you have it. You have the thought, and then it becomes conscious to you. In order to author your own thoughts, you would have had to already have that thought prior to authoring to base the thought off of. But that would also require you to have the thought in order to base that off of. And so you could create the thought that becomes conscious, or the final thought. So there's just this endless regress that you'd have to have had this thought basically before you were born, long before you were born. So thoughts simply occur, and they occur from unconscious processes. They arise from biological needs, or we have the desire or the want to survive and things like that, and our brain is computing what will best serve our survival, because we're all hardwired to survive. Next is we're at the mercy of whatever occurs to us, whether they be ideas or what to do next, or what might happen in the future, the effects of our choices, long-term effects, which we can't know. But what if it never occurred to anyone to, never in human history, to the idea of the will, or to harness fire the way humans have, or the idea of electric cars? What if these things just simply never occurred to anyone? These ideas just never popped in anyone's head, ever, or certain surgical techniques in these things. The idea of, like, Elon Musk is working on Neuralink, I think it's called. What if that idea never occurred to him? Or what if you could just, you can think of plenty on your own, I'm sure. Another is we're at the mercy of our memories. And you know this if you've ever misplaced something, if you ever forgot where you put your keys, or something else that's important to you that you need, maybe in a hurry or whenever you need to find this thing and you can't remember where it's at. So we're at the mercy of our memories, because why would you choose to not immediately remember something when at the exact moment that you want it? Oh, I want my keys. Oh, I know where exactly are. It's more like, where's my keys? And you have to find them. Sometimes you find them quickly, and sometimes it takes a while. Or if you forgot someone's name, you know exactly what I mean, and you get embarrassed because you can't remember their name. And that can dictate things. Forgetting someone's name, they might get insulted. It could ruin opportunities for you. Or, forgetting someone's name could potentially make things work out for the better for you. So what's another one? So we're at the mercy of all of these things that determine the path that our life will take. These things dictate where we're going in life, what's going to happen next. Thoughts arise from unconscious processes, and we don't really know what thought's gonna happen next. But for the most part, the brain is on like a train of thought, and it's logical. Unless it's very dysfunctional and stuff. So for the most part, this seems to be working out fairly well for a lot of people and animals and so on and so forth. The world is as far as living beings go, there's some sense to it, but for a lot of people, there's also chaos and not sense to it. Our desires. So something I wrote down here is we don't decide who we're attracted to. Because in order to decide who you're attracted to, you'd have to be attracted to that desire in order to pick it or select it to be a desire that you will inflict on yourself. Um, so we already have this attraction towards whoever we're attracted to. It's hardwired in us because, like I said, you to select a desire. Like let's just hypothetically say I like redheads that are 5'6" and slender with blue eyes and long hair, and so I didn't decide. I didn't select for that. Say it was that option or it was some other option. Um, what would make me decide on this option? Well, I like that option. So that's what dictates it. And I don't know why that is really. It has to do with biological things that and probably many other things that I'm not educated in. So yeah, you can just think up all of these uh, things like, what if you were born to parents that were highly abusive, or parents that are rich and were very supportive of you, or anything in between, and where you were born, and the foods that your parents fed you, or your guardians, whoever fed you. You didn't get to decide what you were fed when you were very young, or a toddler and a baby and all that. You didn't get to pick the toys you'd have, or the kind of your parents deciding to invest in your education from a very young age and things like that. So yeah, you can think of all the what ifs for yourself. And so I'm going to close this by saying that the debate, now I'll use the word free will again, this free will debate and determinism has long been settled. It's just that people don't see that it has been settled. They don't understand how it has been settled. Or they deny that it has been settled because they don't like that we don't have contra-causal free will. Everything is caused. They might be uncomfortable with it, or they might, for other reasons, like maybe moral reasons, they're afraid of how it will change laws or implicate other things. The philosopher Thomas Clark of naturalism.org says we shouldn't actually go around telling people you don't have free will. We should instead say you do not have contra-causal free will. Because to say to someone you don't have free will, it's just you never know how they're going to understand that, how they're going to interpret it. Might Sam Harris has experienced a lot of people, I guess a decent amount of people, kind of getting very uncomfortable, anxious, maybe even having an existential crisis due to hearing you don't have free will. So it's more, it might be better to tell people you don't have contra-causal free will. Everything is caused. There's always a reason for everything you do. Something determined what you would do and what you are going to do. And a lot of these people in this Twitter, what's this, Dr. Scott Barry Kaufman, in that tweet in the comments section, a lot of people are comparing what Sam said to like destiny or something. Like he's saying that things are like pre-planned almost. So they don't get it, I guess. But anyways, yes, it has been settled for a long time, and yeah, we just have to accept it. And maybe I'll talk more about the practicality of accepting this fact in another video. Thanks for watching.